Hello and welcome to Uncommonly Good MTG. I am your host, the good, the noble, the totally awesome Dr. Yukon Suck It. Yes, thank you. Thank you. Whose panties are these? Please stop throwing them up on the stage. That's right, Yukon Suck It. Word to your mother. So once again, I'm broadcasting to you from my secret underground headquarters, and I'm bringing you today a deck from the Platinum Mythic list on Magic GG. We played this one, a deck very much like this about a month ago, and I called it the Red Deck Wins Incarnate. And it has a lot of the same cards, but today when I was looking at the Mythic list, I saw some cards I really hadn't seen before. Lately, they've been showing up in decks pretty much just like this, so I played against it. I just haven't played with them. And so this is our opportunity to try it out and see if these things really add that extra to it that we're looking for. So let's just start off with the new cards, the ones I wasn't super familiar with. Number one, it's Volatile Arsonist right there. So it's for 5, and that seems crazy in a haste deck that you're trying to play something that costs 5 mana, right? Well, you get a 4/4 menace and haste, and that whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to each up to 1 target creature, up to 1 target player, and or up to 1 target planeswalker. So kick ass. And then if he is hulked out as a giant, hairy, Wendigo-looking, what are those things called? Werewolves. Then he's a 5/5, and it deals 2 damage to up to 1 target creature, up to 1 target player, and or 1. So there you go. So that's technically a lot of action from 1 card. Let's see, there's only 1 of them in here, so it's not like you can be playing this a bunch, but if you just happen to have 5 mana and you get this guy, there you go. We got Creepy Puppeteer, and you just don't see this deck played very often. Number one, I love the art on it. I think it's done very well. Thank you very much. What is it? Marie Magni. Thank you. That is really creepy. It is super cool. But hasty 4, or it's a 4/3 for a 4 mana. And when it attacks, if you attack with exactly 1 other creature, then that other creature's base power and toughness becomes 4/3 until the end of turn. So what's great about that is if you're playing with like a Rabbit Battery and the Creepy Puppeteer, then suddenly your little 1/1 becomes a 4/3 as well as the Creepy Puppeteer itself. That is so much damage. And it goes from what potentially be like 5 and turns it into 8, which is nuts. What else have we done? Okay, Riveteers Requisitioner. So the interesting thing about this guy is that he is not hasty. He's not hasty, but he sort of is. The reason why is because, okay, the big deal is he costs 2, you get a 3/1. Great, he's that dude's beefy, right? He's got a narrow little butt. He's not going to be good for defense. But when he dies, you get to create a treasure token. So the great thing about that is we actually have the ability to create a treasure token, which is going to help get you earlier into the 4s and the 5 ranges. So this guy is probably what makes this deck go together well. Even more so, you can play the Blitz cost. It only costs you 1 additional mana, and he has haste essentially. He comes into play, he's got haste, but you have to sacrifice him at the end of the next step, or the next end step. But also when he dies, you draw a card. So that means that if you play him for 3, you got a hasty 3/1, and you get a card draw, and you get a treasure token. So all of that is fantastic, but it seems a little, I guess it's got haste. It's a little bit of sacrifice. It's in line with this deck, so congratulations. That's a new one for me. Other than that, everything is fairly standard. The big card in here that I usually hate is Arni Brokenbrow. There's just 1 of them in there. Looks like it. Because he's a 3 for 3/3 haste, and then you can boast for 1, and then his base power to 1 plus the greatest power amongst other creatures that you control. Fine. You know what I don't like about him? I just hate the way he looks. He is such a dumb looking dude. I don't like it. I'm sorry, Dimitri, but I appreciate the fact that you could draw as well as you can. It's just I am not a fan of him by itself. So, other than that, we got lots of haste. Let's just go through them super quick. This one does 1 point of damage and puts out a hasty 2/2 on turn 3. In the middle, if when you play your creature, it'll get a +1/+1 counter on it. This does 2 points of damage to any target, and then if you do it to a player, you get to scry. Rabbit Battery is a 1/1 for 1, and it has haste. You can reconfigure it to put it on something else like an enchant or like an equipment, because it is. At which point that thing gets +1/+1 and haste. And then if that thing dies, your equipment is back to being a creature again. It's really good. Spikefield Hazard is additional land if you need it, which you need. If you don't need it, it does 1 point of damage to any target, like a player. If that permanent dealt damage this turn would die this turn, exile it instead. So that's a great effect for a single point of damage. And since this deck is playing the first 2 or 3, like by turn 5, you're going to win probably. So most anything that's going to be out is going to have like 1 point of toughness. So we got the Bloodthirsty Adversary. So she's in here as a hasty 2/2. If you could pay 5 mana, you could actually pull things out of your graveyard and play them. They have to be sorceries or instants, I believe. Yeah, with mana value of 3 or less. The big problem is that, man, you getting up to 5 mana with this deck is pretty rare. So most likely you're just going to have a hasty 2/2. She's got potential for something else, but you're not going to really see it in a deck this fast. Tommy's Flare does 3 points of damage to target creature or planeswalker. When you deal that damage, you also deal 2 damage to that permanent's controller if you control a modified creature. So there's a double hit there. We got Shatterskull Smashing, which is a land. You can pay 3 to put it out in untapped. So if you're desperate for it, you got it. Also, you can pump a lot of mana into it. I'm not sure you'd ever do that because you're not going to have that much mana. To just do some damage to target creatures or planeswalker. Arni there, I think where he looked into him, gets 1+, the greatest power amongst target creature control. Reckless Stormseeker comes out, and you can then give haste until the end of turn to any one creature, including itself, and a +1/+0. Not counter, but just till the end of the turn. If it hulks out, it's +2/+0 and trample and haste until the end of turn instead. Shatterskull Charger is a 4/3 for 3 with trample and haste, which is great, right? Except for the fact that it has to be returned to your hand at the beginning of your end step. Now, if you could pay 5, you could put a +1/+1 counter on, make him into a 5/4. He gets trample and haste, but he doesn't have to return back. The other thing is you could pay him for 3, and if you had something like the Thundering Raiju, which puts a +1 counter on target creature you control, you could put it onto the Shatterskull Charger, which will then keep him in play without him bouncing back to your hand, and without you having to pay 5, you can just pay the 3/4. So there is facilities for that. I think, yeah, he needs a +1/+1 counter, and that's the only thing I think we've seen so far that'll do it. Yeah, that is it. That's it for all the creatures. We do have right here 2 more creatures, technically, because if you pay, that's just one of them in there. If you pay 4, you get 2 1/1 spirit tokens with haste. And that's it. So they will come ripping out and do 2 points of damage. Thing is, that might be exactly what you need. And they'll never see it coming. We got Den of the Bugbear, which is a man land. There's 3 of those in there. When it comes into play, it's a 3/2, and then as it attacks, then it creates a 1/1 red goblin that is also tapped and attacking. So another hasty 1/1. And rather than that, we got 17 basic lands. That is the deck. It is going to be fast. We've played something very much like it before, and it was fantastic. I'm hoping this one is fantasticer. Let's see how well it works. All right, we're playing against Nullvoid. Nullvoid, we got 2 mana. Well, let's keep it. All right, let's do some hasty stuff. Haste dramatic, all attack. Put out another one here. What do we got? 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Let's go ahead and put out 2. All attack. Yeah. Discard 2 cards. Well, I would like to have my 3rd mana. Let's get rid of 1 and 2. All right, there's 3 with the Reckless Stormseeker. Gotta give himself haste. All attack. Let's put out another. And that does it. Victory! Alright, playing against Skeezy. Ski to the Z. We got 1 mana. 2, 3, 4. Alright, let's keep it. Let's go slow. I think we can work around this, can't we? I'll start off with the fast one. We'll go ahead and put out Kakkazan. Alright, put that out slow. Interest tapped. We'll use this to kill that dude. Creepy Puppeteers. She has 4, here's 5. Really, this is pretty expensive for this deck. We got an expensive hand. We should probably toss something for maybe something a little lighter. Kind of want to see these dudes in action, but yeah. Well, I guess we don't get a choice. All right, there we go. All right, all attack. We'll play this out for the 3rd, and we're done. All right, so that's an instant. Yeah, I can say, is this guy gonna mill me? Is that the deal? Yeah, I saw a lot of land there, dude. That was all mine. That's 2 more. Yeah, let's do it. Alright, so that's 4. Hasty 4 right there. All attack. Take that action. There we go. That is nice. Feels so good. All right, here is another one. Let's this guy hasty menace. Yeah, menace, that sounds good. That'll do it. All attack. Target up to 1 creature. Yeah, whatever. And what is that all about? Player and submit 0. There are none. That's fine. Come on, Creepy Puppeteer. What? Oh, it wasn't exactly 1 creature other than the Creepy Puppeteer. Well, I gotta learn how to count. And read the cards. Yeah, he knows which way this is going. We'll do this just in case. All done. Victory! All right, playing against, what's this? Suzuppe? Suzuppe? Suzuppe. I'll go with that one. Okay, we'll keep it 1, 2, 3. Here goes number 1. All attack. Don't worry, playing me in this deck is like ripping off a band-aid. It's over quickly. Alright, here's number 2. All attack. Here is number 3. All attack. And the game's over. Victory! Never play against STM. Sexually transmitted magic. 3 mana. 1, 1, 2, 4. Okay, I'll keep it. What is that? Okay, it's new. He's got a squeak toy. Yeah, okay. Gotta get it out extra beefy. Alright, that dude's getting kind of noisy there. Alright, do we have the ability to shoot anything? We do, right there. Alright, 3 will get us 3 points of damage. Another 1. And I'll attack. Take down, hit it. I can't play him. Alright. Sure, we'll do this. I'll attack. Alright, we just gotta slip 2 points past him on this next turn. That's cool. Oh, he threw it at me? What a jerk! Can I make him... Alright, I think we got it. Auto pay. All attack. There we go. You can only block 2. Your little victory! Alright, playing against Rube Gumbo 7-6. Rube Gumbo. 1, 2, 3. Alright, let's keep it. 2, 3, 3, 4. Boy, this is the first time in a long time I haven't had something to drop on the first turn. Occasionally there's a car that runs right through here. I just wish I could, like, knock it off the track, but it's definitely hard to touch. See if I can't get it. There it is. See, nothing happens. I think there's another car that comes around up here by the gear, but there's a lot less room to actually work around there. Ooh, we gotta play with the Precious. There it is. It's the Precious. Alright, let's go ahead and put this guy out. Touch the Precious. Yeah, I touched it. I touched it. Alright, 2 gets us number 3. Makes himself the tasty guy. Down to 14. Then I should draw it to get a man on the next turn. What do you got up there? Yeah, Doomscar. There's the next mana, the one I was looking for there. Alright, number 4. Auto pay. Haste. Let's go for it. Pumps himself up. Okay, we can definitely put out Shatterskull Charger. That guy's a 4. Yeah, we got this game stitched up at this point. So I got 2 points in my hand right there. Sure, why not? Oh, except the fact that he's got to go back at the end of the turn. And that's it. Game's over. That was 2 minutes. Alright, we're playing against PapaGarb. PapaGarb. 2 mana. That'll get us through the vast majority of our hand. And Rabbit Battery. All attack. Alright, 2 gets us another Bloodthirsty Adversary. All attack. Dead. All attack. Oh, I had a 3rd mana. Or I didn't know that. I should count and pay attention a little bit more. I need 5 for this to be able to go get the Kami's Flare back. Alright, it goes 4. Oh, I don't have the 4 yet. Alright. Next. Another thing with 2. Alright. Dang it. Let's just shoot. All attack. 1 more mana, we can activate the end of the Bugbear. I keep just throwing out those dudes. Alright. Thundering Raiju. All attack. Get that guy beefed up to being a 2. I'm down to 7. That's lethal right there if he doesn't block, which I'm sure he will. Question is, which one is he going to take out? Ooh, he's indestructible. Thundering Raiju, that's the best way to go. Alright, got him down to 3. Alright, provided nothing changes. I got lethal next turn, definitely with Rabbit Battery. And now things have changed. Now things have really changed. Okay, now we're just top decking. No blocks. You gonna do something here? All right. All in. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't do anything bad. I'll attack with a goblin. He's got some tricksy going on. Okay, if he doesn't put out a guy and doesn't kill one of mine, I can slip past. All right, what's the trick here? Here we go. I pay the full charge here? Yeah, I think so. You gonna counter it? All right, block one. Death by Goblin. Suck it, PapaGarb. Suck it. By the way, you did the best job of fighting this deck so far. Congratulations. All right, so here we are with the Platinum Mythic Mono Red Haste deck. And I kind of felt guilty playing it. You know, it is one of those super haste decks, and it performs. And it is so consistent. It is just laying. I mean, I played it 6 times. I got 6 wins, usually 2 minutes or less. So, in fact, I'm going to post every one of the games I played with this deck, and you'll see every single one of them. But it was just nuts how insanely good this deck is. So, what can I say about it? Who was the hero here? And, you know, it's just haste. Haste is their hero here. I know one card actually did anything fantastic. They're all really good, but it's that continued just going for somebody's throat again and again with haste, gradually ramping your way up because of the, you know, going up the mana ramp and being able to do it. The only thing I felt like we were lacking was direct damage to the player. We did have a little bit of play with fire. I guess we had Spikefield Hazard. But the big one that I held in my hand more times than not seemed to be Kami's Flare. And that one was not doing it, right? That one's just... I mean, I guess you had to take out a creature or a planeswalker. It also deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller if you control a modified creature. So, you know, it was hit or miss as far as going against creature. Really, thinking about it, that's perfectly fine. So I don't know what to whine about. I just know when I had it in my hand, I kind of wanted to go for the face, but I couldn't. Even though if I could nail a creature and I had a modified one, which I did a bunch, then I was doing that additional 2 points of damage, which is fantastic. So this guy was new, Riveteers Requisitioner. You know, he did not have haste, but he does provide you, you know, he has Blitz, which is the same as it. And you get a treasure token afterwards for that, the Blitz cost of 3. Great. I was cool with it. It was perfectly fine. Getting 1 charge out of it. Creepy Puppeteer. I gotta say, that was one of my favorites. I love the fact that I was able to take one of these little dudes and give them 4/3. The only thing I didn't recognize was how it says specifically that you have to attack with only 1 other creature this combat. And I didn't pay attention to that. I went to Crazy Town with something else and hope for the best. And I think when that creature got killed because of it. But if I had known, I probably would have done the same maneuver anyway, thinking whatever, with a weak must die, and just gone for it. Thundering Raiju's great because he keeps passing out those +1 counters. Reckless Stormseeker is great because he can make your non-hasty dudes hasty, as well as pumping other dudes up, including itself. Volatile Arsonist is good. I mean, it's expensive. But that's one of the things I kind of don't like about most of the mono red decks, especially the mono red Goblin, is that they all rely upon stuff that's way too cheap. And so they're kind of really missing out in the mid-range. At least this deck gets up there. We don't have anything in the 6 or 7. We don't have any dragons or anything like that. But Volatile Arsonist at a 4/4 with Menace and Haste, and that extra damage that it likes to do is a really good addition to a deck like this. So while I've played with a lot of these cards before, this is the first time I've had, that staple red hasty infrastructure, and then seen things like Creepy Puppeteer, the Volatile Arsonist, and the Riveteers Requisition. I liked it. I thought it was good. So let's give it the ratings then. Was this deck competitive? Yeah, I've never seen a deck so competitive in my life. This is 100% a ladder climber, and you should take it and go out there right now and just start working your way up. It deserves the Platinum Mythic rating that it currently has right now. Was it fun? It wasn't unfun. It's just that you weren't even playing long enough to actually have fun. So I'm not going to say it was unfun, but I did feel kind of guilty playing it, and that's not necessarily the way I want to play Magic cards. Was it interesting? It was interesting just because we had a couple of cards in here I'd never played before. So it was nice to have this version of the deck, which had a few new cards in it that were different than before. And so I'm going to give it the interesting thing. I mean, Volatile Arsonist and his ability to turn into a werewolf, that's interesting. I've seen him around lately. People have been playing it. I'm sure you might have even gone against this particular deck, but it's the first time I've played this with Volatile Arsonist. And I've played something before with, I think, this deck probably with Creepy Puppeteer. It was cool then. It's still cool now. But you don't generally see a lot of Creepy Puppeteer out there. Maybe because, she costs 4 to put out. But in this deck, it was definitely worth it. And Requisitioner, or the Riveteers Requisitioner, getting that extra token and having the ability to blitz it, that's what you need, because sometimes you just want to get that extra mana to help you cast into the larger things that you're trying to go for. Because for as fast as you're playing, sometimes 4 turns, 4 mana doesn't cut it for you. This guy is super cool in this deck. I did not play him for this ability, but the ability to put out 2 1/1s with haste is definitely right there in what this deck's, what is it? It's Bailiwick, right? In this deck's wheelhouse is what I was really trying to say. So yeah, that's the deal. This deck is tight, and it is a fighter. And I see it more as being a utility deck that you use to get where you need to go, but it's not necessarily a deck that you play for fun. So if you so choose to play with this deck, I hope that you use it for a violent uprising and recognize that it should be registered as a deadly weapon. That is all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe. From all of us here in the secret underground headquarters of Uncommonly Good MTG, have a great day. In the words of my people, don't let the door hit ya where the good Lord split ya. See ya.